Noida's Nithari killings accused Moninder Singh Pandher has been released from the Luxor jail in Greater Noida. In fact, the Allahabad High Court, remember, on Monday acquitted the 65-year-old businessman and his domestic help Surinder Kohli in the sensational 2006 murder case that had really sent shockwaves across the country. In fact, the court said that the investigation is something that they're extremely disappointed by and that the probe is botched up. Now, these visuals that you see on your screen are defining because the sight of body after body, skeleton after skeleton being recovered from that drain outside Pandher's house was something that had really shocked the nation, and multiple cases were registered against them. In fact, the CBI also took over the investigation and found Kohli guilty in several cases as well. In fact, Surinder Kohli had confessed to charges of cannibalism, having sex with the dead victims, and also eating up the body parts of the dead victims. So that is a kind of gruesomeness that the case threw up. In fact, now Pandher has been released, and this is something that has really shocked the nation. My colleague Shubhang was on the spot and he sent us this report.
The infamous Nithari killings of the year 2006 and one of the accused, Moninder Singh Pandher, has been released from the jail today. This comes after, on Monday, the Allahabad High Court pronounced him innocent, saying that the CBI investigations were definitely not in the proper manner. The more angles they could have seen during the investigation. So saying that they have pronounced him innocent. Right now I'm standing just outside the jail premises where he was locked. And the team of his lawyers was definitely here since morning, and he has left with his team of lawyers. Well, definitely, according to the sources, he is definitely going outside Delhi, and maybe he's going to Chandigarh where his family is living. But now he's a free bird. This comes as a shock for the people, the parents of the children who lost their lives. They have been fighting for 17 years to get justice. But due to the carelessness of CBI and the other agencies involved in the investigation, he is out as a free bird. Shubhang Singh Thakur, NDTV, Noida.
And well, this of course, as larger questions on the investigation still continue to be raised. I'm being joined now on the broadcast, Mr. A.K. Jain, former DGP, somebody who was an IG at the time when the Nithari killings actually surfaced. Also with me, Ashutoshsrivastava, an advocate with the Supreme Court. So many thanks, both of you, for joining us on this very important debate. A.K. Jain, first to you, because you were really somebody who has seen the Nithari killings very closely. Larger questions on the investigation still remain. It was a 17-year-long investigation, and despite that, the investigating agencies could not prove that these two had killed the women and children who died in the Nithari killings. In fact, the court also called the investigation botched up. How do you look at this? Because 17 years later, did no one kill those children and women?
First, let me make it clear, I was not posted in that area. I was posted at Lucknow as IG. But I am aware as a police officer, I am aware of the killings, of the investigation which took place. Investigation was with Noida police only for 10 days, and after that, because of hue and cry and because the case was of national importance, it was transferred to CBI for further investigation. Acquittal from Allahabad High Court, in my opinion, is very unfortunate, because Noida police was 100% convinced that Surinder Kohli is behind the brutal killings and sexual assaults. Whereas CBI later on was of the opinion, because on your channel only, Arun Kumar was also there, Joint Director of CBI of UP cadre. I was also there. He said that our stand has been vindicated, and if Pandher has been let off, so that was our stand also, that Pandher was not involved in killings, because when the killings took place, most probably he was out to Punjab or he was in Australia. Right. So that was confirmed by CBI. But as far as acquittal of Surinder Kohli is concerned, it's very shocking, and I am of the opinion, confirmed opinion, that government and CBI should move Supreme Court as early as possible.
In
They
fact,
should
that is
hire
something that
proper.
the UP government has also said,
Yes,
that they will be, they could move the
yes,
Supreme Court if need be. But
yes.
Ashutosh Srivastava, going across to you, because on the ground, when I spoke to the parents of the victims, they were completely shattered. In fact, many of those parents could not even come out to speak to me, because for them it was extremely heartbreaking that 17 years later justice is denied to them.
Yes.
How do you look at it? I mean, a 17-year-long investigation and then an acquittal. So it's not even justice delayed. In a sense, it is justice denied to these parents who are in complete shock now.
See, so far as I know, they were convicted firstly in 2015 for one or two cases, and then in 2017.
Yes.
So the investigation was over by then only, and they were behind the bar since 2007 when they were arrested. Firstly in 2007. So they were behind the bar for almost 17 years. See, I would say that Allahabad High Court has, came to a conclusion that there is no sufficient evidence to prove the guilt of the accused, except, the kind of suspicion one can have on them. And also it has pointed out on the way the evidences were collected, and also, the organs trade issue was not addressed by the investigating agency in a proper manner. See, I feel initially when the matter was with the police authorities and not with CBI. See, what happens whenever investigation starts, the initial period of investigation is very, very important and crucial. Because during that period only, if somebody tries to, play around with the, evidences or, witnesses
That's a very
or
important
things
point
like
you're
that,
making.
then
So
it
when
becomes very difficult.
investigations are
So-
too long, then perhaps there's a chance that the evidence
So
is tampered
destruction-
with. Go ahead.
Yes. So the destruction of evidences are quite possible.
In fact, let me take that to A.K. Jain, because what you're pointing out, Ashutosh Srivastava, is a very important point there. Because if an investigation is unusually long, there is chance that evidence would be tampered with. And as Ashutosh Srivastava is pointing out, the initial part of the investigation is extremely important. And as he said, that organ trade aspect was something that was not looked at perhaps as comprehensively. So now you can't go back to the investigation. So do you think that it somehow reflects badly on the investigating agency as well, that they, in a sense, failed at their job because they could not make it a watertight case that could stand the test of law?
We should not forget that. We should not forget that Noida police only worked out the case. They worked it out successfully. They traced the mobile of Payal.
Yes.
And they connected it to D5, Sector 31, the infamous house. And Surinder Kohli was nabbed. And after that, Pandher was also caught, and they were questioned. It's a different thing that Noida police didn't agree 100% with the theory of Noida police, and they were of the opinion that Pandher was involved in immoral trafficking act and pornography and other things, but was not actually involved in dismemberment of children or killing them or sexually assaulting the dead children, ladies. Yes. So this was the opinion. It might have led to the acquittal of Pandher, but in my opinion, Surinder Kohli, we should try our level best that he doesn't come out of the jail, because he is involved. Entire Nithari village, they can vouch for it. They can vouch for it that he is behind the killings. Pandher is behind the killings.
Absolutely.
Pandher was aware.
On the ground as well, when I spoke to some of these victims' parents, a lot of them were, in a sense, of the opinion that Kohli is involved and he should not come out of jail, because that is something that would be extremely heartbreaking for them as well. But Ashutosh Srivastava, do you think that cases which are extremely sensitive, whether it's the Nithari killings or the Soumya Vishwanathan some case that we recently saw a verdict in. Of course, you can't compare the two, but of course, these kind of cases, which are extremely sensitive, there has to be some amount of fast tracking as far as these cases are concerned. Would you agree?
Yes, I definitely I do agree. Actually, see what happens. The court proceeds with the kind of investigation which takes place into motion. So whatever the reports required, or the charge sheet being filed, or the case being transferred to other agencies for proper investigation, that all takes time. Now, in this case also, if we see initially when the matter was with the police, actually, the state only took a decision where they suspended 2 of the SPs and 6 other policemen were suspended. And on the insistence, the matter was transferred to CBI. Then
Right.
CBI took its course, and then the investigation, again started. So all this process takes time because CBI cannot just take the files and start immediately. Even they have to go through, about the previous investigations being conducted by the previous agency. So, this all takes time, and without these reports and submissions, the court also cannot reach to a conclusion. Many a times the witnesses who are very important and crucial to the case, they also hesitate in appearing in the court. Sometimes they feel, that the protection should be given to them. Sometimes
Right.
by the time they are, they have shifted to some other place. So it is difficult for them now to come and cooperate in
So
the
in such a
investigation or
situation
before
then,
the court
AK Jain, and the
proceedings.
last word to you, how should this investigating agencies actually go about it? Because as I said earlier as well, it's an extremely convoluted and sensitive case. So what do we stand to learn from an investigation which 17 years later in a sense failed?
I am of the opinion that in such cases, there is so much of media hype that generally police is unable to carry out a very fair and impartial investigation because every day questions are raised as to what is the progress in the investigation. In this case, in my opinion, judges of High Court honorable judges relied more on the shortcomings of the investigation. The same evidence was produced before the CBI judge at Ghaziabad, and he or she was of the opinion that it should be considered rarest of the rare case. But the honorable judges here were of the opinion that confessions were under. I think there was beating and
Right.
he was tortured, and that's why he gave this confession. You see, there is a narco analysis test also, which
Yes.
is not done in the presence of police officers, and in which he confessed that he has
And in
killed
fact,
all these
extremely
people.
gruesome confessions, disturbing
Yes.
confessions were made about, cannibalism and,
Yes.
having sex with the dead victims. Extremely disturbing there, but, 17 years later, the fact of the matter is that one of the co-accused has walked free. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for joining us on this debate
Thank you.
this evening.